life's too much and the world seems far too hard to face. You must hold on to your dreams. One day you will reach your happy place. Life has its ups and downs, but the ups are well worth waiting for. A brighter day is just around the corner.
Here comes the chorus.
The sun is always shining, but clouds can stop us feeling its warmth. And here's the silver lining: the clouds don't stay in one place for long.
Oh, I feel like we're really getting to know this song this week, and I've been speaking to Mrs. Hamer, who is so very pleased that we are showcasing her song and taking time this week to think about mental health and how we're feeling, and also to think about that really big connection with how we feel about things and how we are connecting to the outside world and to nature. So, speaking of nature... Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the 9 a.m. news. And it's the Northowram Primary School Nature News I bring for you this morning, and we have some breaking headlines. Up first, Gosling is born on a Northowram Primary School child's farm. Zachary reported earlier this week that after waiting patiently for eggs to hatch, one has indeed hatched. The egg cracked and a gosling was born. Zachary, age 10 or 11, I'm not sure, Zachary, reports that the egg, which had indeed been fertilised, has now produced a glorious, beautiful gosling, which of course is the correct name for a baby goose. The gosling, you may have thought the gosling might have been brown. It is in fact bright yellow and looks like a chick, but in the shape of a goose, a small goose. So congratulations to Mr. and Mrs. Gosling and their new chicks. And Zachary will update us if there are any further births to occur on his farm. The next headline is... I'll just get my news headlines sorted out. Here we go. Blackbird nest sighted on school grounds. Year 6 pupils Matilda and Olivia report that they have discovered a blackbird nest in an unusual place, an unusual place in the school grounds. They observed a blackbird, a female blackbird, so it was brown, picking up worms and entering the school building via a vent, an unclosed off vent outside the reception classroom. After observing carefully for some time, they concluded by listening that there was indeed a clutch of eggs which had now hatched, and the baby blackbirds were making a really loud noise, waiting for their mother to return. Mrs. Blackbird was sighted on the school field, returning many times with lots of bits and pieces of worm to feed her new babies. We have blackbirds nesting in our school. How marvellous. And the final breaking news tonight is that children in year 5 have been sighted making a huge contribution to looking after our school grounds. Sighted at playtimes, at lunchtime, the children have been seen with litter pickers and black bin bags, and they have been doing a super job of clearing up the front yard and making sure that the natural world is kept beautiful. And those are your news headlines for today. Goodbye. Not really goodbye. Oh, I think I need some more practice at being a newsreader. I found it really hard not to smile all the time. But I hope you enjoyed that. They were just some of the headlines around school this week in our nature news. And I have some other good news, really, about things linked to mental health that make us feel good, not necessarily linked to nature. And the first one is how doing things for other people and doing things that are altruistic, helping other people, even though it doesn't benefit yourself, makes us feel good in here and in here. And you remember that I was telling you about a group of children in year 5 who'd been making loom bands and selling those in class, and donating the money to Freya's Just Giving page to go to the Candlelighters charity. Well, I think other children have become inspired by this because we've got some little things happening around school, just in classes, that are really special. I wanted to talk to you about what Harriet's doing in year 5. And Harriet was inspired by the girls' work. And in her own time, with her own money and her own time, she has made a series of key rings that she is going to be selling to the children in her class to raise money for Freya's Just Giving page and to the Candlelighters charity. I think this is a wonderful thing, Harriet, and it must have taken you quite some time. So the key rings have lots of different designs. There's a Roblox one, and they all have Northowram Primary School NPS on the back with a heart, which is really nice. Not sure. Are they pumpkins? Possibly. Yeah, maybe. These are for sale in Harriet's class. I love this one, particularly because it's to do with the Candlelighters charity. Absolutely beautiful. A rainbow key ring there. What else have we got? Oh, each one's different. I love this one. Harriet, I think I might have to purchase this one. It's a panda with love hearts. Little bit of nature there. A panda with love hearts. I think that's my favourite so far. Although, what's not to like about a funny banana? That's a lovely one. You must have had such a great time thinking up all of these different motifs for your key rings. Here's a little chimp, a baby chimp. That's a cute one. And the last one we have, very pretty one. We've got some cherries and some love hearts there. So Harriet, I know that you're organising that with Miss Nixon in your class. I wish you luck, and well done for being altruistic and for doing something to help other people. I'm really proud of you. That's a lovely thing to do. And I'm just going to take a sip of tea. There we go. I'm also really proud of some children, and again in year 5, who have done something else that makes them feel good, which is doing the thing that they love to do. And this is Isla and Harriet. And Isla and Harriet, they love reading and they love writing. And they have written a book. And it's part of a series, of a very exciting series that the children are writing, which is all about time travel and what we would do if we could travel forwards or backwards in time. And I was discussing this with Alfie earlier this week, and we were saying, would we like to time travel? If we would, where would we like to go back to? Where would we like to go forward to? And Alfie said, I would like to go back to, what did he say? Back to my birthday, because that was a special day. And I think he said, I'd like to go forward to tea time because I'm hungry. And I said, do you know what? I think I like time just exactly as it is. I don't think I'd want to travel through time. It's a really exciting story, beautifully written, beautifully punctuated. And I'm going to read you the very first part to get you excited. Have you ever wanted to travel through time? Yes? Me too. Claire and Mark were 2 normal kids. Really? No. They were time-travelling kids. And last time you met them, their family was evil. Now it's time to see them again. Claire, come on, lazy. It's time to see the mansion, yelled Mark. Claire was tired of Mark yelling at her. She could feel her anger boiling over. Claire stormed downstairs. She said, you need to stop yelling at me. Anyway, check it out. Remember when we found out we owned a fortune? We also inherited a mansion. Whoa, said Claire, her eyes widening. So off they set to the mansion. It had 10 bedrooms and ensuite bathrooms. It had a huge garage. In their back garden, there was a hidden lever. It opened a trapdoor, and the trapdoor led to the time crystal. Wow. It's just like reading a book from our bookshelves, isn't it? The Secrets of Rambridge, The Untold Past. Absolutely superb. Brilliant mystery. Brilliant adventure, and it's so good for our mental health, for how we feel about things, to do the things that we like to do, whether it's football or drawing or singing or writing and reading. All of those things that we enjoy doing make us feel good. So remember, always make time for your hobbies. Okay. Oh, it's a packed assembly today. I can't leave today without showing you something from our marvellous Wonders of Nature book today. And I've chosen, I was a bit inspired by two things. First of all, the blackbirds and Mama Blackbird, who just kept going with little piece of worm after little piece of worm to feed her little clutch of chicks. Is that what we call baby blackbirds? Possibly hatchlings, I'm not sure. And then also inspired by, I was talking to Jensen today about worms and how he really tries to look after nature, and if he finds a worm on a path, he tries to put it back in the grass or the soil somewhere where it will be happier. And I said, oh, they're a bit silly, aren't they, worms, really? They need to stay in the garden rather than going onto the paths where people could tread on them or they could get dried out. And he said, Mrs. Scarterfield, worms aren't silly, they're just blind. And they can't always see where they're going. So that's how that happens. So for you, Jensen, in our book today, I have found an extra special worm. Now, you might think worms all look the same and they're all a bit dull and brown and boring and slimy. No. I'm going to show you something. You won't believe it's a worm. Are you ready for this picture? I don't think you are ready for this picture. Think about what you think a worm looks like. And then look at this. Oh my goodness me, the wonders of nature. This creature actually exists, and it is, unbelievably, a worm. And this kind of worm, I think, lives in the sea, and it's called a Christmas tree worm. Let's read and find out all about it before we finish. In certain parts of the sea, it feels like Christmas every day. Here, the seabed is covered in what looks like a tiny forest of Christmas trees. However, these are actually colourful worms. The branches are crowns of feathery tentacles, which the worms use to trap scraps of food drifting past. If they are surprised, the worms quickly withdraw their tentacles and the forest disappears. Christmas tree worms are part of a large group of animals called segmented worms, who's just like the earthworms that we have round and about, whose soft bodies have many sections. Segmented worms live almost everywhere. Some live under the ice in Antarctica, others live on boiling volcanic vents in the deep sea, while trillions of earthworms are packed into our planet's soil. So I'm just going to show you again, and I've got one more picture to show you, and then I really must go because you must get on with your learning. So that one is a Christmas tree worm. I'm going to show you one more worm that doesn't look like a worm that we think of as a worm. Are you ready? This one also lives in the sea. Here we go, the last one. I won't read about it, but I will show you the picture. This one is a worm. This is a flatworm, and it lives in the sea. So don't ever think that worms are just like the earthworms that we have in the soil, in our school and in our gardens. Around us, the wonders of nature never cease to surprise us, and amazing things are there if we look for them or read about them. So there you go. So thank you for the inspiration. So many of you give me inspiration for my assemblies. And I hope you enjoyed that. Lots of mixed things today. Have a really lovely Thursday, everybody. You're working very hard this week. And I will see you for Good Work Assembly. So teachers, if you've done some great work this week of any type, please send it my way. I'll be recording that assembly tomorrow. And I will see you really soon. Okay, take care, everybody. Bye for now.